Over the past 12 hours, we've had the worst crypto cascade in history. And it's not even close. If you look by the numbers, today, October 10th to 11th, by far is the biggest crypto liquidation event of all time. I'm going to be talking about the news that came from Trump, China, and beyond in this video, and things you should be worried about, concerned about, and also opportunities therein. So let's just start here, because the amount liquidated, it's a lot of money. You see this number here. You're saying it rank number one, $8.99 billion. We see rank number two. This was back in February 3rd, 2025. It's about $2.2 billion, right? And then number three was in 2021, $1.2 billion. So the crashes that happened back in 2022, the Luna crashes, they don't even make it on this list. That's how big of a crypto cascade happened. But before you say, $8.9 billion is a hell of a lot of money, I want you to look at the up-to-date numbers on how much money has been liquidated. Not over the past 24 hours. I'm talking about the past 12 hours. $19 billion. That's almost 10 times as bad as February 3rd, 2025. And almost 20 times as bad as 2021. That's how crazy of a crash we're currently experiencing. So what's happening to make such a violent crash in the markets today? Well, it's this right here from Donald Trump. And of course, once again, here we are. This is the 15th time we're doing this, but apparently tariffs are back in the news. It has just been learned that China has taken an extraordinarily aggressive position on trade in sending an extremely hostile letter to the world, stating that they were going to, effective November 1st, 2025, impose large-scale export controls on virtually every product they make, and some not made by them. This affects all countries without exception and was obviously a plan devised by them years ago. It is absolutely unheard of in international trade and a moral disgrace in dealing with other nations. Based on the fact that China has taken this unprecedented position and speaking only for the USA and not other nations who are similarly threatened, starting November 1st, 2025, the United States of America will impose a tariff of 100% on China over and above any tariff that they are currently paying. Also, November 1st, we will impose export controls on any and all critical software. It is impossible to believe that China would have taken such an action, and the rest is history. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So that's the big news that happened. Now, this was bad. This was really bad. And I don't think it was just due to this that we're seeing right now. I think there's something that's related to crypto that is causing this. I believe, this is my speculation, that market makers went against each other. They turned on each other and full stacked on the crypto market. Because what we saw was something that I've never seen before. I mean, this is something that it's just so bad that you've literally never seen this before. Let me just show you this. So this is the Bitcoin hourly chart. We went all the way down to about 100. I think we went even lower than that, but this is what the chart is showing us. It's about $104,000. That is really low. I mean, that from a wick from 120,000, that's about a 20-ish% move in crypto over the span of, a couple hours. That's a really, really big move for leverage. And, the crypto market kind of recovers and it's going to be okay at the end of the day. Ethereum's still at $3,800 and all that in between. But we look at some of those cryptocurrencies, we scroll down a little bit, and these guys are down 30 to 50% today. It's a pretty violent day. Now, what I have to say immediately, just to kind of calm the fears, I think that we are in a 50-50 moment. October historically has been a moment in which algorithmic traders make a lot of money. Because in September, they go on their vacations, they stop, they have earnings reports, there's no reason to really be in the market. But the bots come back in October, and as you can see, there's a lot more volatility historically in October. And October usually is a pretty good month for the crypto space and overall equity markets. The likelihood of him going back on this tariff stuff is pretty high. Historically, he's done that. He's talked the big talk, and then we all end up making some great deal that ends up happening. I also don't believe for a second that this is going to magically improve as a situation now, if I'm trying to go to the contrary, because I think that Trump is overstating the relationship that the U.S. has with China. I don't think it's as positive as he's making it out to be. This is something that has been brewing for a very long time, and China's finally coming in and saying, we think we're better than you. We think that we can finally bite back. We can bite the king and try to take his throne. That's a big move. That's a big move. They're probably the only country in the past 20 years that has even tried to do that. So a lot's going to happen here. And the world order as we know it is pretty much in the fray. Like, we don't know who's going to win here. We know a couple details, and let's just talk about what China ended up doing, because I've been talking a lot about what the U.S. is doing, but let's talk about China and what they were actually doing, the exact details on what happened here. China expands rare earths restrictions, targets defense and chips users. China curbs export of 5 new rare earth elements, and it comes ahead of their meeting, which is not happening now. Foreign producers who use Chinese tech and materials required to comply. Foreign semiconductor users will face more scrutiny. So China, this was before Trump's announcement, dramatically expanded its rare earth controls on Thursday. This is a very, very interesting thing. The White House and relevant agencies were closely assessing the impact from the rules. And China produces right now over 90% of the world's processed rare earths and rare earth magnets. The 17 rare earths are vital materials and products ranging from electric vehicles to aircraft engines and military radars. Exports of 12 of them are now restricted after the ministry added 5, along with related materials. And foreign companies producing these will also need a Chinese export license. Very, 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 very interesting. This is a big deal, because this is a direct shot at the U.S. This is like, you're going for a kill shot here. They've been trying to de-dollarize for a very long time. Now, if you're holding crypto, this is a good thing, because of course, the U.S. has a big impact on the crypto markets. And even recently, we saw with BNB, China season, right? All these Chinese tickers were coming out. So both markets are incentivized to make crypto work. And when there's volatility, when there's these very adverse reactions in the markets, then more than likely what's going to happen is we're going to get news over the coming days that a major fund has been liquidated, that they have been destroyed from the ground up. People are speculating right now that it could possibly be Wintermute, that it could be Crypto.com. I don't think it's Crypto.com, so don't freak out if you're holding Crow. But of course, I don't know anything. And you know, we're going to be getting that news as time kind of progresses. What I think is going to happen is we're going to get that news, liquidations are going to happen, and then, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed here, there's a deal made and he steps back just like he's done in the past in regards to these tariffs, and then the market just pumps back up and nothing has happened. If in November 1st this actually goes through, we're going to get a lot of blood. And you should have probably taken profit. And if you didn't take profit right now, this is probably, from a risk-reward standpoint, the second best time to buy. It's probably the second best time to buy, because most majors are down a lot. But most majors also had historic liquidations. So what happens when there's big liquidations is it's kind of anyone's game. So I could not predict if something's going to pump or not. Because realistically, when a liquidation happens of this scale, of this magnitude, that means a lot of people lost a heck of a lot of money. A lot of money. And the guys that made the money were shorting, right? So these are the guys that want the market to go down. They've taken their profit. It's not like they're going to just pour their money back into the crypto markets. They made their money shorting. It doesn't make any sense for them to pour their money back into the crypto markets. So we need fresh capital. We need the markets to bounce back on the stock market. We need everything to regulate again. And we need the printer to keep going. And that's going to continue this bull market coming, moving forward. We have historic volume still. There's a reason this is the worst crash in history. I would bet the markets have more upside than they do downside at this point. You know, I wouldn't be bearish on the market. And if I'm holding crypto, what I'm going to be personally doing is I'm going to be holding it. I'm not going to be selling it. I'm not going to be panicking, because we've already gone through the worst of this story. There are cryptocurrencies out there. A good one that I've talked about on this channel, Avalanche is a good example of this. You know, right now the coin's at $22. It's down 20% on the day. But if you actually looked, this crypto was down a lot more than that. A lot more than that. In fact, AVAX went to about, I think it was like $8 or something like that. It went all the way down to $8. That's crazy. It's just not the time to be selling your crypto. With this volatility, it could easily just come right back up. And we're already seeing a bit of a relief rally happen. This is not the time to sell your cryptocurrency. This is the time to either accumulate, or, you know, if you're like me that has stabled, actually withdrawn a good amount of crypto and has gone ahead and prepared for the future but doesn't have the stables to buy the dip, I'm just going to be holding. I'm not going to be here to overcomplicate things. I realize that this is a historic moment for crypto, and the odds are that things will improve. If they don't improve, then, you know, it kind of is what it is. It's time to earn more income. It's time to figure things out, because if crypto goes down, then everything else is going to get very complicated for us all over the world. Let's just say that crypto is probably the best place to be. And if crypto goes down, then everything else is going to be a lot worse. So before we go like doomer on this thing, things are looking not good right now. Clearly, I have a lot of friends that have lost millions of dollars today. It is not a good day in the crypto markets. But whenever there are these massive collapse events, like these events that have just killed a lot of people out of the market, that is an opportunity for you, my friends. And I've been warning people for I don't know how long on these videos. I've been saying this take over and over. And if you've been watching my videos, you understand what I'm talking about. I've been saying that perps, you have to be very careful. You don't take those perps trades, because you take a perps trade, you go over leverage, and even if you were on a 2x leverage here, you would have gotten liquidated on pretty much any major alt. Any major alt. But if you're on spot, if you just bought your crypto normally, you're still in this game. And as long as you're in the game, you've got the potential to make it. So that's going to be this video. Let me know your thoughts. Stay classy. And that's all.